So, you probably clicked on this video because you want to learn all the unique techniques of Mario Kart Wii, either because you just got the game and haven't played the game before, or because you haven't played the game in many, many years. Either way, I will teach you everything you need to know to get better at Mario Kart Wii. Let's dive into everything you need to know to get better at Mario Kart Wii. So this tutorial may be different from other tutorials that you have watched, because I will first explain the technique that you need to know, and then afterwards I will showcase it. So the first technique that I will be showcasing is wheeling. Wheeling might be the most important technique in Mario Kart Wii. The reason why is because it gives you roughly 12% boost while in a wheelie. So if your speed was 80 out of a wheelie, you would be 90 speed while wheeling. So wheelies are super important, but there are two disadvantages. I'll get to the second one later, but the main disadvantage is that it locks you into a straight line. So you can't move. If you try turning, you'll lose roughly all of your speed. So that's always important to remember. So let's get into wheelies. So this is what a wheelie looks like. Simple enough. Here's more wheelies. So, in order to do a wheelie on the Wii wheel, you need to shake your remote in an upward thrust. You have to do the same thing in the nunchuck. If you're using the GameCube controller or the standard controller, it's up on the D-pad, which is the plus button shaped thing. That's the button to wheelie. It's not a upward motion. So this is a chain wheelie. Chain wheelies are really important because it allows you to chain wheelies, as the name suggests. You get two wheelies, and the thing is that there is an audio cue. After 6 whooshes of every half a second there's a whoosh, and those will be the wheelie. So that's the noise, the whoosh noise. I did say there were two disadvantages that make wheeling kind of risky. Well, this is the other one. If you get hit by a player, which means this doesn't apply to time trials, if you get hit, it'll cost you a lot of speed. What I just did there, though, was by doing right and left with directions. You go right, left, or left, right to turn your vehicle. It's not super important, but it's nice to know. So this next technique is actually a choice, because once you choose your character and vehicle combination, you'll realize that there are two choices, automatic and manual. Automatic allows you to take turns tighter just by turning the controller sharply, doing a sharp right or a sharp left. And manual allows you to drift, which we'll get to later. I would say choosing automatic is better for a beginner because it's easier to use. A key thing to remember is that while doing automatic, you can only get out of a wheelie if you do a full left or full right for roughly 1 second, so keep that in mind. The next technique is drifting. Drifting is important because if you drift for roughly 2 seconds, you'll get a mini turbo, which is a blue boost. And just like the wheelie, it gives you a boost, but the mini turbo allows you to go even faster than a wheelie does. It boosts your speed by like roughly 30%. So, although a wheelie boosts you by 12%, mini turbos boost you by more, but they only last for a second. So wheelies are still better. Another thing to remember is that drifting, if you're using karts, you can get an orange mini turbo with karts only. And orange mini turbos are just blue mini turbos, except they last like twice as long, so they last 2 seconds for some vehicles. Some they'll last less if they have a lesser mini turbo stat, so the length of your mini turbo depends on the mini turbo stat. So this is what inside drift looks like. Only half of the bikes in the game have it, and everything else is outside drift. Outside drift allows you to take turns wider and is slower and it's the other half of the bikes, and all the carts are outside drift. So the B button on the back of the Wii wheel is how you do a mini turbo with the Wii wheel, and the B button on the nunchuck is also how you would do a mini turbo. You hold it and then let go once you see the blue sparks. And on top of is the R button for the GameCube and standard controller. All these bikes that I'm showing are all the inside drifting bikes. All of these are really, really good, and I would say the worst of them is the Jet Bubble, although they are all really, really good. And I would say that that's very important to keep in mind, that inside drifting bikes are all really good, no matter which one you use. So this next section is about all the best characters for all 3 weight classes. If you didn't know, each of the sizes of characters is its own weight class. Lightweight for small characters, middleweight for medium characters, and heavyweight for large characters. And the way to determine the best character of each weight class is to see which one has the best speed stat. So the best character of each weight class will have a great speed stat compared to the rest of them, but also the way to choose the best vehicle is different because you already have a good speed stat. You want to choose something with a good speed stat, but also a decent mix of other stuff, and it also has to be an inside drifting bike. So the third best thing is Baby Daisy on the Bullet Bike. You need to get 1 star or more in every 150cc Grand Prix. And the second best is Daisy Mach Bike. You have to get first place overall in a 150cc Special Cup match. And the best character is Funky Kong on the Flame Runner. What you have to do is beat 4 expert staff ghosts, which I don't think is that difficult. It's probably the easiest of all of these. So it's the easiest character to get, and it's also the best. So this next section will be about snaking. Snaking is where you chain mini turbos, because as I said earlier, it only lasts for like 1 or 2 seconds. And the thing with snaking is that you go back and forth across the track and chain mini turbos into each other, so you get more boost really fast. You'll get a lot of a boost. So you just keep getting mini turbos, and it doesn't fully negate it, but it mostly negates the fact that wheelies are better. It makes karts not terrible, it's just that wheelies are still better. And so snaking is the optimal thing to do with a kart, which requires manual. So this is what snaking looks like. So it's a little tricky to perform. You have to swivel left and right to make sure you're not flying off the track. The thing to remember is you should only do this with karts, because remember, bikes can wheelie, so you should not snake with an outside drifting bike like the Shooting Star. The Shooting Star is an outside drifting bike. You should do a mix of wheelies and mini turbos on the turns, but you should not be doing snaking, because wheelies are still better because they're a constant speed boost. A smaller one, but they are still a speed boost. So the best for the lightweights is Koopa Troopa or Dry Bones in the Mini Beast, because it has the highest mini turbo stat of any vehicle in the game, and it just makes snaking so much more effective. But not every track is built for snaking. Some of these want more speed. And the second best is Daisy in the Wild Wing. You already have both of these, or you'll have one of them, but you'll have to unlock Daisy by doing a 150cc Special Cup and getting first overall. So this one has a decent mini turbo, but it also has quite a lot of speed, and that's always important to have good amount of both of them. And the best is Funky Kong in the Flame Flyer. It has better speed than the Wild Wing, and it also has roughly the same mini turbo, maybe a bit worse. It's a bit worse, but it has a bit more speed. I'd say they're roughly about the same. So this next section will be about respawn boost. These next couple will kind of be about stuff that I just couldn't really find another section for. This is just the random stuff, like I just couldn't find a spot for this, so this will be the random stuff. So we'll start off with a respawn boost. Respawn boosts are important because if you ever fall off, you'll be very slow to accelerate. You'll use your standard acceleration stat. So you'll start, it's as if you just got hit by like a range shot and you tried to speed up. That's not good. The acceleration is very bad for all the good vehicles like the Flame Runner, Mach Bike, and Bullet Bike. So if you do fall off, what you want to do is once you fall into and it turns to the black screen, you want to let go of gas, and then right before you hit the ground, you want to start holding the gas button. So this next section was supposed to be about a startup boost, but the startup boost is extremely difficult to explain. It's very difficult to explain how to get a startup boost. It's not as easy as other games in the series. I'll still try to explain it, but it's just very difficult. What I would recommend is watching Lakitu's hand, and you should start holding the gas button to get a startup boost when Lakitu's hand is in the middle of his body and it shows the number 2. So you should use it. 3, now is when you should start holding it. And I can't really explain further. Okay, this next section is about load tricks. It's a kind of useful thing, but it's not useful in every track. Some things, there will be these ramps that are like not normal ramps, like the ones, most other ramps you can't do this on, like all the rainbow ones, but like ones like SNES Ghost Valley, you can hop on the end of it. Also ones like this, you hop on the end of it to get on it. And Dry Ruins is another one. You hop onto the end of the ramp and it allows you to get a lower air time. It's a little risky, especially on Bowser's Castle. It's very, very risky. I wouldn't recommend it. So this next section, will be about the 5 most important shortcuts you need to know. So I wouldn't say they are the 5 most important, but I chose them myself. I chose the ones that are quite big time savers and also don't have a lot of risk to them. So these are my picks for the 5 most important shortcuts in Mario Kart Wii. And we'll start with the Mushroom Gorge Gap Jump. In order to perform this one, you'll need to do a lot of inputs, and you need to be quite precise. And it starts once you land on the last orange mushroom. So once you land on the last orange mushroom, what you want to do is perform a left drift, do a mushroom and wheelie, do a left hop, and hold right in midair. I know it's a lot, but I'll do it one more time. So what you need to do is once you land, you want to do a left drift, and then you want to do a mushroom and wheelie at the same time, do a left hop, and hold right in midair for more air. And the second one in this list is the DK Summit double shortcut. So you want to periodically let go and repress the button and hop a couple times to the right to make your angle really good into the double shortcut. And then once you make it over the first part, you want to do a left drift, hold right in midair to get more air, and you should be able to make it. Not super risky though. So this one is the Grumble Volcano Rock Hop. You just aim for the left side. You don't have to do it extremely fast, but then don't wheelie. That's a very bad idea to wheelie. You just aim for it and then mushroom, and don't wheelie because it'll change your angle. You just aim for it, mushroom, start a right drift, and then you can just take the turn as normal. Since this is one of the more risky ones on this list though, there is an easier version. All you have to do is you have to just do a mushroom and a wheelie when the ground is elevated, and it will allow you to respawn on the other side. It doesn't save us much time, but it is a lot less risky, which is a key factor on this list. Now the fourth track with the fourth shortcut is, this one's very easy. There's these dots on the ground. You want to aim your back wheel in between them, and then what you want to do is you want to aim for the last block, the blue blocks on the side. There's a bunch of blocks. You want to aim for them. You want to aim for either the middle or the edge of the last block, and it will give you enough air to make it to the other side, and it's not that difficult. Now this shortcut saves roughly no time, but it can be 100% consistent. There are little stakes, and they're like pillars in the fence. All you have to do is do a mushroom, a wheelie, and hop once you go past the second pillar. All you have to do, you just mushroom, hop. It's not difficult. It only saves like a quarter of a second, but it is very, very easy to get good at it. It can even be 100% consistent. So this next section will be the 3 easiest ultra shortcuts. Ultra shortcuts are basically shortcuts, except they skip key checkpoints, which are supposed to be necessary to get a lap to count. But instead, if you skip straight to the last one without crossing over the finish line, making the game think you just drove a whole lap by hitting the last one. Also, you can't skip an excessive amount, like 95% of the track, so that's very important. But it's not difficult to perform some of the easier ultra shortcuts. These are the easiest ones that aren't that difficult to accomplish. So we'll start with Grumble Volcano. First, you want to turn around, and then you want to drive into the lava behind you. You'll respawn where there's a trick ramp right next to you. You'll respawn there, and you want to aim towards the rock over there and just do a mini turbo trick, and you go up the little cliff face, and then you just go around the rock. But in order to hit the last key checkpoint, you need to go slightly near the jagged edge right there. You need to go slightly close to it. If you do go too fast, you'll likely fall off. It's a very risky thing. Sometimes you'll fall off and sometimes you won't. You just have to get slightly near it. It'll take some trial and error to figure it out, but I think it is important to learn this ultra shortcut because it's not that difficult. I'd say it's relatively easy actually. And if you do still use carts and automatic, there is a way to do this. It's actually kind of inconsistent. But once you fall into lava, you want to get a respawn boost. We talked about this earlier. You want to get a respawn boost and hold left, a sharp left, and you can make it onto the rock. It's like not super easy, but it's not super difficult. It's harder than the bike method where you wheelie and get a mini turbo trick. It's harder, but not fully inconsistent. Now this is the Warriors Gold Mine ultra shortcut. All you do, there's a pipe below, right there. There's a pipe. You just you back up a bit, do a mushroom and a hop. And if you land near the middle or the very left edge of the pipe, it'll respawn you on this train tracks. You want to go back to the third wooden stake in the fence to get the key checkpoint to count. Very important to get the last key checkpoint to count. If the lap doesn't count, you may have crossed over the finish line, so the game did detect that you were, in fact, it thought that you were cheating, because you are. So you just back up, do a mushroom wheelie, and then do a left hop near the edge. It's not super precise. You should respawn here, go back to the third stake, and just do a standstill mini turbo, which is when you hold the gas and the drift button, and you just get the lap to count. Now this one is a little difficult. This one is kind of similar to Wario's Gold Mine. You want to aim under this mushroom's shadow. You want to back up a bit. You want to aim for the left half of the mushroom and then do a left hop and It's the same thing as the Wario's Gold Mine Ultra Shortcut. It's not extremely difficult. You just do the same thing where you do a left hop, you mushroom wheelie and do a left hop. So I'll show it again. All you have to do is you go under the shadow, back up a bit to make it easier to do the hop. You do a mushroom, a wheelie, and a left hop. You don't have to do the wheelie, I just find with higher speed vehicles like the Flamer, it does make it easier. And then you go back into the cave to get the last key checkpoint. Last key checkpoint's very important to hit. You don't always have to go inside of the cave to hit the key checkpoint though.